Welcome back, everybody. This is your reporter tonight, Greg, reporting live on End Times News, where you get your eschatological fear-mongering. You betcha. Here first. Folks, you don't want to go anywhere. We have a special guest tonight, none other than our expert on end times, Big Nick. John is actually on the scenes right now. So, John, to you.
You know, Greg, it's pretty wild out here, man. Like, literally, we are panicking for our lives. These are the very last seconds of the last days, Greg. And this is largely because we're reading the book of Revelation that was written to the first century, but for some reason we think that it applies to us. Pretty wild, huh? I mean, literally, at this point, we really think everything is a sign of the end times. However, our culprit for panic today, Greg, is really these rivers that are turning red. Enough of me, Greg. I'll turn it over to our eschatologist expert now, Big Nick. Big Nick, to you.
Rivers all around the world are suddenly turning blood red, leading many to believe that the biblical end times are underway. Recently, a river in Sydney, Australia turned completely red, leaving the locals baffled, yet no cause was confirmed. Then, a river in Lima, Peru turned absolutely red with no explanation. And finally, a river in Buenos Aires, Argentina just turned blood red as well. This river turning red was just reported a day after the one in Peru that we previously saw. Considering these events all happened back to back, it's been making headlines, causing many people to believe that the biblical apocalypse could be underway. The Bible says in the last days that God's wrath will be poured out on the earth.
Wow, thank you, Big Nick. That was a wonderful eisegesis of the text. You know, my knees are literally knocking right now. I thought it was because of these freezing temperatures out here, but I was wrong. I just discovered that I'm trembling and my knees are literally knocking right now because I'm absolutely petrified by your message. I mean, you know what they say, fear sells. Big Nick, I can't express my thanks enough to you, man. You're awesome. Because of your wonderful teaching, I literally was not deceived the other day by this fool preterist. He tried to tell me some rubbish and nonsense like context matters and audience relevance does too. I was like, yo, get a load of this guy. He was like trying to tell me that Matthew 23 and Matthew 24 had something to do with Jerusalem in her last days, and that God was going to bring judgment upon her for all the bloodshed from Abel to Zechariah, and it would be indicated by the destruction of the temple. But I was too quick on my feet. He tried to deceive me with Matthew 24 verse 34, telling me all those things would take place before the passing of that generation. And I was like, nah, man, I ain't going to fall for it. I already listened to Big Nick's teaching. So again, thank you, Big Nick.